Okay, so just to compare a few of the brands so that you know what you would like to buy or what you're able to buy, let's see what the differences are. Now, I've got a few different price points here. I've got a Liquitex Basics in ultramarine blue. I've got a Jo Sonja's Series 1, so that's a very cheap colour in the Jo Sonja's range. I've also got the Italia Free Flow, and I've got the golden ultramarine blue, and we're just going to compare them to see if there is a huge difference or not in this particular colour. I did buy a really cheap one, but I got cobalt blue by accident. So look, just don't bother with these ones. Absolute waste of money when you're trying to do something that you're proud of anyway. So if I can say without even doing an example, please just don't buy this one. Believe me, that would be great. Okay, so do not buy that one. But these ones are what you've got to choose from. So let's start with the Liquitex in a tube, so it's a slightly thicker consistency. The ultramarine blue is also, in the Jo Sonja's, is also a slightly thicker consistency than the fluids that we'll be using in the other colours. We'll just put it there. Whoop. Totally different colour already, you can see. The ultramarine blue in Italia. It's a good quality paint there. And the ultramarine and the golden, whoops, darker again. Okay, so obviously the darker blue that these colours are, the more pigment that we've got. So we'll start with the Liquitex, and I'll load up this brush. So because it's a little bit thicker coming out, I'm adding a little bit of water to my brush just so that it's flowing enough for me to brush it on here. Okay, so stroking and loading up my brush. There we go. Fair amount of coverage there, not a bad colour. So that's the Liquitex Basics range in the ultramarine blue. So I'll do the same thing with the Jo Sonja's now. Stroking to load up my brush. I think it looks like it's a different colour for one, but it's a bit lighter on the paper as well. There just doesn't seem to be as much in that paint, so not as much pigment, but you know, still okay coverage. So definitely you wouldn't want to go any cheaper than that. With these two colours, I really don't need much water because they're already very fluid. Okay, so this is the Italia brand, and it says it's semi-transparent, which I'm sure it will be, but a good quality artist paint. There we go, look at that beautiful colour. A little bit more on my brush. Can you see how it looks so much brighter than this one up here? So they may have a darker filler in that one, but so much brighter. Not too bad, the coverage. Okay, so that's the Italia. And now the golden. Once again, I don't need very much water on my brush at all because it's the fluid type. So this is the golden. And straight away I can see that is so much brighter and very clear. So if I was glazing that over another colour, it would be very clear. Okay, so sure, they're all similar. They all have the same name on the bottle or the tube, but for my money, I would either go the golden or the Italia, simply because of the free flow consistency. I know I'm going to have to add water to this one, the Basics, in the Liquitex, to make it flow the way I want it to out of the tube. It doesn't just have the same consistency when it's out of the tube. Let's just add another coat here. So that's the second coat of that. Second coat's drying pretty quickly here today. Second coat of the Jo Sonja's. Second coat of the Italia. And a second coat of the golden. The golden is a dream to work with. The consistency is so good. I rarely have to even shake the bottle, you know, it's just made so well. The pigment is suspended in it so beautifully that it's a dream to work with, I have to say. Okay, so there's the 4 colour options for you. Please buy what you can afford. If you need to have half your range of Jo Sonias and the other half you spend a little bit more money on your favourite colours, that's certainly an option too. But just so that you understand that there is a difference between them, as you can see in the example here. The other difference to notice when it comes to price is the series number. So this ultramarine blue is a series 2. In this brand here, it's a series 1. So the series relates to the price of the pigment and the price of the paint. So series 1 means it's the cheapest in their range of paints. Series 2, obviously a little bit more expensive. What's this one? Series 6, the diarylide yellow, so more expensive again. So it means that pigment in the paint is more expensive to get a hold of, okay? Here we've got Parole Red, which is series 3 in this Italia brand. So this would be more expensive if the bottles were the same size, slightly more expensive than this one, okay? We've got a series 2 here as well. So if they were both series 2, they'd be the same price. Series 3 a little bit more expensive. Here we've got an example of Jo Sonia's Aqua in the series 1, so that's one of the cheapest colours in their range. Okay, so when you see that there are different colours within one brand, it's the series and the quality and the expense of the pigment that's making that difference. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Feel free to experiment yourself. You will find your own favourite colours, and no matter what brand they are, it's fine. If your favourite is the cheapest, it's just like fine wine. So the best is the one that you like the best. So feel free to mix and match within your brands. But if I had to choose, I would be choosing the Golden or the Italia, most certainly. All right? So I hope that's been some help to you, and I'll talk to you soon.